If your case goes to trial, who actually decides whether your case is going to be heard by a judge or by a jury? You want to know the answer? Come join me as I share with you some great information. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury trial lawyer practicing law here in the state of New York. So now, if this is an accident case, a car accident case, if it's a police brutality case, if it's a medical malpractice case, or even a wrongful death case, how do you decide whether a judge is going to hear your case or whether a jury is going to hear it? It always depends on what type of case you have and whether or not the defense has clearly acknowledged and agreed that they're responsible for the happening of your injuries. Now, I will tell you, in more than 26 years of practice here in the state of New York, I have never, or I shouldn't say never, I have rarely seen an instance where the defense turns around and says, hey, you're absolutely right, we screwed up, we did something wrong, now let's simply go ahead and just try this case on damages to determine how much your injuries are worth. If that were to happen, then we would likely want to have a jury of your peers deciding what the value of your injuries are worth. Meaning, 6 people in the community come and sit in judgment to listen to doctors, to listen to evidence, to listen to testimony about what happened to you and how those injuries have affected you on a daily basis. In a case where there is simply an issue of law, where the judge has to make a determination based upon the facts that are presented about a clear issue of law, in that instance, we will likely then have a judge make that decision, listen to whatever testimony is necessary, and then come to a conclusion based upon what the law says. In every car accident case, you are claiming that somebody was careless. The driver turns around and says, hey, we weren't careless. In every medical malpractice case, there's a clear dispute where now we claim that a doctor violated the basic standards of medical care. The doctor and his attorney turn around and say, hey, no, we didn't. Same thing happens in every type of civil litigation here in the state of New York, where somebody suffered injuries or an untimely death. There's always a clear factual dispute. So now what happens? The jury is then called upon to decide who's more likely right than wrong. The jury has to determine who's telling the truth, who's shading the truth, who's not telling the truth. Once the jury can come to a conclusion about who's more likely right than wrong, then they can resolve those factual disputes about who they believe and who they don't believe. And then the judge will give them the law to apply to the facts that they've just determined. So why do I share this great information with you? I share it with you to give you an insight and an understanding into what goes on in this type of case in litigation here in the state of New York. I realize you're watching this because you likely have questions or concerns about your own particular matter. Well, if your matter did happen here in New York and you do have legal questions, what I encourage you to do is pick up the phone and call me. This is something I do every single day and I'd love to talk to you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Gerry, Gerry, at Oginski-law.com. That's it for today's quick video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a fantastic day.